Yesterday, I talked about a Bible verse that says, and I'm going to read it to you. It is from Psalm uh, 57. And it says that the enemies have prepared a snare or a net for my feet. They have dug a pit before me, but they fall in it. This we see over and over again. I heard from a very important member of our team at the Healthy American. She's one of the moderators at the Healthy American with Peggy Hall Facebook group. And if you're not on that group, I would love for you to join that group. We have 8,000 members. We have very vigorous discussions, sharing of information, very upbeat, very encouraging, very positive. And I want to share a story that exactly illustrates this point of the enemy will set a snare, but they themselves fall in it. If you have watched my videos about how to shop without a mask, you know that I recommend that you let the store know that you cannot be prevented entry. You cannot be denied entry based on civil law. There is civil law in every state. In California, there is the California Civil Code 51, which states that we all are free and equal. We may not be discriminated against because of our race, gender, age, religion, medical condition, and there are a few other points. And I have that at thehealthyamerican.org if you would like to read it. This California Civil Code is very important because it applies to every single business establishment. It doesn't matter if it's private. The idea of no shoes, no shirt, no service. I have made many, many videos about this. Somehow that phrase gets stuck into people's minds. And they also will say, well, it's a private business and they can do what they want. You're absolutely right. They can do what they want, but it doesn't mean that they aren't breaking the law. And if they deny you, not because you're not wearing shoes or a shirt, but if they deny you based on these conditions that I mentioned, they are actually engaging in discrimination. And that is a civil law, and they can be sued in civil court. And I've mentioned before that my recommendation to call the sheriff if you are harassed at a store is not because the sheriff is going to force that business establishment to serve you. That's not the point at all. The point of calling the sheriff is, number one, because you want to protect yourself if you are being harassed. We all have seen videos possibly on YouTube of people being ganged up on because they weren't wearing a mask, or people fleeing in fear of their life or from being harmed. So law enforcement is there to keep the peace. Law enforcement does not adjudicate. They do not say you're right and you're wrong. They simply keep the peace so that you are not going to be harassed or threatened. And in California civil law, it also states that you may not be harassed or threatened with violence. And that is a law that these people who are threatening you, even if it's other patrons who are harassing you, you can call law enforcement. Now, the reason why I recommend it is this. First of all, you are not the one disturbing the peace. You are not the one making a ruckus so that you're going to be arrested and carted off unless you want to. There are some people that want to do that. That's your choice. I personally don't want to do that at this point. There may be a time when I do. But right now, what I recommend is you call law enforcement, number one, to alert law enforcement that you are being harassed and intimidated. It also is a very important demonstration for those managers or those patrons to know that you stand your ground, that you mean business. And I don't think they want to be harassed with law enforcement coming in. They're trying to just keep their business open and serve the patrons. The other reason it's really important to call law enforcement is because now the law enforcement agencies are going to know how ridiculous this is, that they have to send out their police and they have to send out their deputies to go break up mask fights. I want to share with you a couple of stories, a couple of actual stories that happened today. And one of them happened to my husband. Now, we went to the beach. We had a little bit of a day off. And on the way home, he wanted to stop at Walmart. And I was in my beach cover up. So I said, okay, go ahead, sweetheart. I'll just wait in the car. I actually don't like going into these stores because I don't like seeing all of these individuals wearing a mask. I don't care for the compliance. God does not care for the compliance. It is not a way, in my view, of showing that you care about somebody. It's showing that you don't have a brain and free will. And God gave us a brain and free will so that we could honor God, not honor the manager at Walmart. So what happened is my husband just walked in. He'd been to the store many times, and he walked in and they said, oh, do you need a mask? And he said, no, thanks, I don't wear one. And he goes through and picks up the garden hose that he was buying. And everything was fine until he went to check out. And when he put the hose on the conveyor belt, a manager came up, took the hose away and said, we are not going to sell this to you. And, you know, my husband is very fluent in the laws and everything because he's, you know, my side by side here as I'm doing these videos. By the way, he has a YouTube channel called True Hope with David Hall. And he has very encouraging messages for you if you would like some encouragement and you need prayer or support. This is my husband. He's a pastor, okay? He's very easygoing and laid back. He's not belligerent. And he stood his ground and he said, why aren't you going to sell this to me? And they said, because we have a policy that you have to wear a mask. And he said, well, you are breaking Civil Code 51 and you are discriminating against me because I can't wear a mask. And they brought over a couple other managers and my husband said to them, you can call the sheriff. And he doesn't even know if they called the sheriff, so he called the sheriff. And here's where it gets interesting. He called the sheriff and the dispatch said, she gave a big sigh, oh, we don't want to send out deputies for another mask issue. The reason this tickles me is because it means good for you guys. You are calling law enforcement because you are being harassed. It's not good that you're being harassed, but you are calling them out on this. And I think we need many people to call law enforcement so they will finally say, come on, stores, would you lay off your patrons? This is really getting ridiculous. As you know, we are in a war, we are in a spiritual battle, and I say all hands on deck. We need people from all areas to come on board. And I realize right now I have a radio show in a couple of minutes, so I'm going to make this quick. What I'm going to do is make another video that I will post on YouTube, and that's where I'm going to share with you the snare, the pit that they actually fall into. And I'll give you a little sneak peek. Many of these large companies actually have on their own website, they publish their policies against discrimination. That's what I want you to do, all you healthy American researchers out there. I would like you to think about the stores that you go to: Costco, Smart and Final, Vons, Albertsons is one that I know of. The stores that are in your area, you can roll up your sleeves, go to their headquarters, corporate site, or you can do a search online for their incorporating documents, which usually are at the SEC. You are going to read in their documents, their statements that they will not discriminate against you because of your religious beliefs or your medical condition. Now, I don't wear a mask because of my religious beliefs. God breathed into man the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Okay, God gave me the breath of life. God designed me to breathe in oxygen and breathe out, and I mean out, carbon dioxide. And I am not going to change that. I am going to follow God's laws, not man's laws, not Newsom's laws, not the governor's laws, and certainly not the manager's laws at Walmart. Stay tuned because I will come with you again very shortly. For this spiritual encouragement, I recommend Psalm 55. I will call upon God and the Lord will save me. In the evening and at dawn and at noon, I will grieve and moan and he will hear my voice. He will give me freedom and peace. Now, Psalm 55 is awesome because it is a complaint against enemies, and we are in a battle with enemies. I thank you so much. I hope this live came out all right. I can't even see comments on Facebook right now. So if it didn't, I will do another one. Please join me on my YouTube channel, Healthy American Peggy Hall, and I will see you soon, everybody. God bless you. I am grateful for you. And we stand shoulder to shoulder, united, and we will stand to live and to fight another day. See you soon, everybody. Signing off now. Bye-bye.